here to address you. You must go. Ruto must go. Kwapa na hatuendi. Kwapa tunalala huku na hatuendi. We don't fear you guys. You hypocrites. We don't fear you. Mr. Speaker, we don't fear you. Tuko ndani. We stomped inside. Sisi ni nani?
Hello everyone. It's unbelievable what is happening in Kenya. And repeatedly, African rulers have always used force against protesters who are coming out to them and say that they want to dialogue. Kenyan youth are on the street saying no to this finance bill. And instead of the government to listen to them, rather it is killing them, coming after them, taking them out. What is wrong with this? What is wrong with these African rulers? What is wrong with them? You're killing the youth that you're supposed to be giving them good governance. The protesters that are coming out just with their flags, saying to you, this is our concern, this is our problem, come and solve it. Yet you go after them. You take them down as if they are criminals. Meanwhile, the criminals that take arms against the state, you never do anything against them. You never do anything about them. The Kenyan youth have been resilient, staying on in spite of the attack. And they've refused. They are being killed. They've stayed on. Kudos to them. And shame on the Kenyan government, very big shame on the Kenyan government, that you have descended this low to this level. And I'm so glad, so very glad that the Chief Justice of Kenya came out with a very strong message to say, why are you abducting, to the government, to say to the executive and say, why are you abducting protesters, taking them out, you know, without even bringing them, to the court or anything. You abduct them, you sort of like disappear them. The same thing. These wicked, soulless African rulers, they all belong to the same WhatsApp group, where they do all sorts of shenanigans, where they met out all sorts of evilness. How are you killing people just because they came out to protest unarmed? Protest is a right. You were voted in through democracy. People gave you mandate. And today you're killing the people. The same people that stood with you and voted you in. The other day, the Kenyan president came out and was saying all sorts of the right words, the good words. And now you're killing people? You're going after them? Who does that? Who does that? What will it take for you to sit down and have a conversation with the protesters? Sit down, come out on the streets and meet them on the streets and say, I hear you. And explain to them, and even say to them, okay, come together, give me a solution, give me a better way to get this thing done. What will it take? No, at every time is to kill. And then the security agents that are being used all the time to kill unarmed protesters. Aren't you ashamed of yourselves? These protesters are also protesting for your rights. And then you come out every time and say that, oh, you're not being paid well, you're not being taken. But when people come out to protest, you're the ones that are killing them. I said this to Nigerian police. When I see them and they're saying to me, oh, why is it that you don't take on our issue? We're having issues. I said, well, we come out to protest. They send you to kill us. We've been attacked. I've been in protests where we were protesting for police women that were abducted by terrorists, and police came out to attack us. Yes. What is wrong? What is wrong with you people? What is it? Can't you just do the right thing? Can't life just matter to you? For how long? How many years? President Ruto, how many years are you going to stay in that office? And what you'll be remembered for? Was you killing unarmed protesters? No, that shouldn't be. That shouldn't be. Gosh. Just watch them. And I'm glad the youth of Kenya, they're staying on. They've breached the parliament. Your legitimacy comes from the people. There's the people that have the power. The people have given of their sovereignty and said that you should manage their affairs. Doesn't mean that you now have to be brutal on the people. Take a look at this from CNN.
This is CNN Breaking News.
And we do have some breaking news coming in. We're going to show you new pictures coming out of the Kenyan capital of Nairobi. What you're looking at right there is protesters have breached the Parliament building. Advanced, we're told, inside the building. There's also been tear gas and live rounds being fired by police as these protests have been unfolding. Let's get over to CNN's Larry Madowo. He's on the ground there. Larry, bring us up to speed. What are you seeing? What's happening?
Kate, we're outside Kenya's parliament and protesters breached the wall of the National Assembly. This is what you see here that's broken down. And after that happened, we saw police using live rounds to fire at protesters who were largely unarmed. You still see them back there holding firearms. And this went on for several minutes. But protesters still did make their way inside Parliament, made their way inside the floor of Kenya's Parliament, and stole the mace. We saw them make out of the Parliament with the mace of the National Assembly. And they said if they pass this controversial finance bill, then they should sleep inside Parliament, referring to Kenya's lawmakers. It's been an extremely extraordinary scene here, with police battling protesters using water cannon and using tear gas, but the protesters kept pushing them back closer and closer. Their intention was to occupy Parliament. These mostly youth protesters had declared 7 days of rage, and today they had declared it a day of a total shutdown, and that's what you see here. You can still hear tear gas in the air, canisters getting fired repeatedly, but the protesters made it all this way. They burnt down this police truck here, which they only managed to put out a short while ago. But this is still the scene outside the National Assembly, with police, lots of them in the hundreds, trying to beat back the protesters. They retreat briefly, and then they make their way back here. And so that's been the sound of Nairobi all day. This blasts throughout the day. It has made it sound almost like a war zone. A heavily militarized response to what is essentially peaceful protest that's protected under the Kenyan Constitution, and that is the anger you see from the people here. We did see at least 2 bodies lying here on the floor, on the ground outside Parliament. We're waiting for an official police confirmation of how many people have been killed in this, how many people have been wounded, but CNN has seen 2 bodies lying on the floor, and this the sign of the dramatic day we've had outside Kenya's Parliament today, and this shows no signs of stopping. Kenya's Interior Ministry said all these protests have to end by 6:30 p.m. So we're about just under 3 hours away from that. But these people are determined, beating back police, bringing banners. They say they're peaceful protesters. All they want is for President William Ruto to listen to them and to avoid overtaxing them. Kate?
Yeah, and I want you to remind people what is at the core of these protests,
All right.
how it is escalated. So how it is escalated to this point. You also spoke with the half-sister of former President Barack Obama, who was there protesting.
That is that, and that was extraordinary because she generally stays away from politics, Obama. But today she said she needed to join these young people of Kenya who are protesting. I want you to listen to what she told me.
I'm here because look at what's happening. Young Kenyans are demonstrating for their rights. They're demonstrating with flags and banners. I can't even see anymore. They're being tear gassed. They're being
That was an extraordinary scene to see Obama out here on the street with these young people. We're back here on the street and you see the tear gas getting fired here. And so many of these protesters not intimidated by that. Some of what we hear sound like live rounds here outside Parliament. We're not exactly certain, but there's a distinctive sound between what is tear gas and what is live ammunition. And we have seen police use live ammunition here, using rifles and AK-47s. And protesters saying, we are peaceful, stop shooting us, stop killing us. We see one young man lying on the ground there, and some of them even getting very close to the police. That's what happens. Tear gas getting fired again and again, trying to beat back these peaceful protesters who do not seem to be moving too far away from that. As this happens, they keep coming back and daring the police to make sure that the government of President Ruto hears what they're saying about how difficult life has become for them because of the high cost of living, and they fear that if this finance bill passes, it's going to be even more expensive for them.
My goodness. Larry, please continue reporting. Please stay safe. This situation completely unfolding still as Larry is on the ground and watching it all together. Larry, thank you.